All right, let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders, who, they had an okay day against the Chargers. Things went all right. No, if you missed the game, they won 63-21. It was domination. Let's talk about how they dominated both the, terrible defense of the Chargers, but also good offense by the Raiders. A play like this can kind of showcase both. Where first, play action, Adams is the route you're going to look towards. That's a good idea, right? Run play actions and then look towards your best receiver. Usually, those are two good things to do for an offense. But watch right when this play begins. I mean, Michael Davis, the corner, who, yes, he is a corner, despite the fact that he wears number 43. He plays corner. You see him completely, I don't know what he's doing. It looked like he kind of tried to make contact with Adams, but Adams is like way past him on this play, which makes me wonder if this is more of a zone concept. Like, dude, if it's zone, you're still the only guy there. You got to get back and make the play. As you see, O'Connell does the right thing, quickly gets it over to Adams, who does some nice work in open space on top of it to make matters worse for the Chargers. That was kind of a, microcosm of how this game went, which was like, Raiders were trying stuff, and when they tried stuff, it worked. Pretty simple, really. Going over to something like this, it's going to be Trey Tucker for the Raiders that we're going to talk about on this play, where you see the route he's going to run. Again, a lot of times these are just setup routes. A lot of times these are just routes designed to kind of get the safety to run further deep, allow you to throw things over the middle. However, when O'Connell takes the snap, he's going to look, reads the play and says, wait a second, the safety isn't getting in position. So now, look at how open Tucker is on this play. There's two Chargers in the area. This is really inexcusable to have nobody be covering him. And the fact that these things were happening constantly throughout the game is awful, but at the same time, you do have to give credit to Aidan O'Connell on this stuff as well, right? Because I think a lot of quarterbacks would just kind of assume the safety is going to take away Tucker and not even look in that direction. You still have to read the play and notice that, hey, Chargers are being stupid, let us take advantage, right? I always say on this channel, good teams take advantage of their opponent's mistakes. O'Connell did read this, also makes a nice throw. Tucker looked a little hairy for a second, kind of bobbled it for a second, but did make the catch, got the touchdown on that play. So, good stuff by him. He had a good day, a couple touchdowns. Again, a lot of touchdowns to go around in this game. 9 total touchdowns offensively and defensively for the Raiders. This was one of them. But honestly, it's just like winning on the outside. That's just kind of what it comes down to, is if your receivers are winning, if, you can't cover your opponent's receivers, like that's going to be the game. If you can find ways to win on the outside, then that can work. And Jakobi Meyers has really been just a great addition for the Raiders. And it's one of those things where, like, I kind of understood why the Patriots let him go. I didn't love it. At the time, I was critical of that move, and I liked it from the Raiders' perspective. But you can kind of understand it, right? Because it's not like he looked like a dominant number one receiver or anything, but he was kind of, really, I always viewed him as like a good number two receiver who was forced to be a number one receiver with the Patriots and, couldn't really do that. But now that he's just the number two receiver, it makes it a lot easier. And right now, he's kind of running a pure number one receiver type route, right? The go route in a one-on-one matchup on the outside. It is, once again, going to be Michael Davis who's trying to cover him here. So, not the best day by Davis, but in fairness, not the best day for literally every single defensive player for the Chargers here. Watch as O'Connell takes the snap. He's going to look, and again, a lot of times you look at the throw kind of as it ends, as it's getting to the receiver, and say, oh yeah, good decision or bad decision. I like to kind of let you know, I like to pause it here though, because it gives you a better insight into what the quarterback is actually working with here. He doesn't know how open Meyers is going to get. He doesn't know how good of a job Davis is going to do covering this. So he has to try and put the ball just in a spot that he thinks that Meyers will get to, that Davis will not get to. But as you see, he puts this one beautifully on the money. A great catch from Jakobi Meyers, and they get the touchdown on that play. Just great stuff by those two to be able to pull that kind of thing off. So, listen, we can sit here and say, oh, it's a Charger defense. That was still a perfect throw and a great catch. Sure, Davis maybe could have been a step further, ahead, but even if he was, I still don't think he's knocking that ball away because of how well done it was by the Raiders. So you got to give them credit as well. It's not just the Chargers stink, it's also the Raiders made some plays. Also heading over to this play, so this is going to be it's a zone coverage concept. O'Connell is going to run a play action and then roll out towards the top of the screen. It's actually going to be Michael Mayer, the tight end. They're going to try to hit just kind of underneath the coverage. Okay, let's see what happens. We'll watch how when O'Connell runs the play, again, kind of similar to the first one. it's a little bit open. He got a tad open on this play. Okay, no, it's wide open. Chargers not really paying attention to Mayer, but again, these are clever concepts, right? I mean, when Kyle Shanahan does this, everyone sits around and says, wow, Kyle Shanahan, genius. Granted, I get it. It's, I think it's fair to look at the history of the Chargers and say it's probably more about the Chargers defense than the Raiders offense, but still, you gotta run plays that have a chance of fooling a defense for the defense to get this fooled in the first place. As you see, O'Connell flips it to Mayer. Mayer is going to run up and pick up the touchdown. So again, to me, this is what a lot of it was. It was a combination of like Raiders making plays happen and also the Chargers maybe making things easy on them. And sometimes it was both combined. Like heading over to something like this is going to be a 3rd down and 2 situation. You have, Adams is going to be running a route, just trying to get into a gap in coverage. Chargers are running this zone coverage blitz scenario, so you can see where the route can get into a gap in coverage, right? Kind of over the middle. Well, O'Connell's going to take the snap, and at this point, there is a window for O'Connell to make this throw. Again, not the best defense here, but still, for, quarterback, hey, there's still things you can do here, right? You can make sure that you time this well, make sure that you put this in position to where Adams can run after the catch and try and pick up more yards. And as you see, that's exactly what happens. They are able to pick up great work running after the catch by Adams, so give him a lot of credit there, but also put a lot of blame on the Chargers defense. So, I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel the obvious take almost is like, you can't score 63 unless 2 things happen. Your offense plays well and their defense plays poorly, right? There's never in the history of football been a game where the defense plays well and you put up 63. There's also never been a game where your offense plays poorly and you still put up 63. And I get not all of it was offensive points, but still a lot of it was. And definitely a big chunk of why this game went so well was because of what the Raiders were able to do. So what do we take away from this? What have we learned? Well, again, Aidan O'Connell continues to be interesting, in my opinion. I don't know what you do with a guy like him. I mean, I do think that I still would say that he probably shouldn't be like a great plan A at this point. I still think you should at least go in and try and upgrade the quarterback position. But if you can't get a great upgrade and you can't get a great situation, well, maybe, go with another guy and kind of just have 2 players that could work out, right? Like what I would probably do if I was the Raiders and you can't get a, top quarterback, and, you can't draft a great quarterback because you have won enough games that there's no quarterback you like when that becomes a thing. There's no quarterback on a trade market that you like. I'd probably go after some sort of, backup plan, maybe I don't know. Could you get Trey Lance for cheap? Something like that, just as a backup. Let O'Connell start the season, and if it doesn't work out, then go with your backup plan. That's probably where I'm at right now, but either way, a very fun game for Aidan O'Connell, if nothing else, and a very unfun game if you're a Chargers fan. And again, what this also goes to show, obviously the quarterback is going to be the discussion, but it goes to show that this Raiders offense does have a lot of talent on it, which we kind of knew. We knew going into the season this offense could be good. The defense has been surprisingly good for the Raiders. And, they added Jimmy Garoppolo thinking that he would give them, solid quarterback play. If that happened, I do wonder if they're better than 6-8 right now. I think, if anything, this game kind of shows the Raiders, they might not be a great team, but they're certainly not a disastrous team, and there's certainly, good qualities for them. So, yeah, that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.